I'm Joshua Harris, a licensed insolvency trustee, and for this week's trustee tip, I'm going to be talking to you about student loans in the consumer proposal and bankruptcy process. We get this question all the time, and I know after last week's video, a lot of questions came in. So let me talk to you about the basic principles. Number one, when you file your consumer proposal or bankruptcy, you must have left school for at least 7 years for that debt to be dischargeable. You can verify that date by calling the National Student Loan Center, and they will give you the exact date you finished school. Make sure to communicate that with your trustee, because sometimes it's worth waiting a week to make sure you can get rid of that burden. Second, in Ontario, there's a special law called the two-date system. So if you've gone to school multiple times, whether you used OSAP on 2 occasions, or you used it for the first occasion and then paid for the second occasion, those 2 educations are split. And that's from a date perspective. So if that first education included OSAP, or you took OSAP, and that was more than 7 years ago that you finished, whatever happened afterwards is considered separate. So we'd be able to get rid of that first set of debts, and then we can discuss what happens with the second one. If you paid for it on your own, you're free to go. If that second portion of the debt is less than 7 years old, you may be on the hook for some of it after the insolvency process, but at least we're going to get rid of that first chunk. Make sure to ask your trustee about those dates, and make sure to give as much information as you can so we can give you the right solution. Now there's one final section in the Insolvency Act talking about hardship. A lot of people talk about this. So here it is. If your student loan was 5 years old, as in you've been out of school for 5 years when you file for the proposal or bankruptcy, there is a set of laws that says that as long as you are in hardship and you've done your very best to make payments on that proposal, you can obtain a court order discharging you from that debt without waiting the extra 2 years. But don't be fooled. This is a very challenging process. It requires a lawyer, and the lawyer requires a retainer, and there's still no guarantee that the court will agree with you. So the best bet is to talk to your trustee and get some free advice on whether that situation is going to work best for you. And again, keep watching these trustee tips by liking and subscribing to make sure you get as many tips as possible so you can get yourself out of debt.